Right, so I gotten a few comments on my recent video about inflammation, asking about athletes and whether or not icing is a good strategy towards reducing inflammation. You know, we hear about athletes such as Mo Farah using ice bathing, cryotherapy, I think that's what it's called. And of course we always hear about icing injuries. When you're injured, you should put ice on it immediately, all that stuff. And well, you know, my opinion is the same as what I just talked about in the video, that inflammation is a natural response that the body initiates as part of the healing process. Meaning, when you get an injury or when you increase the stress on your body through training, for example, that inflammation process is part of the healing. And that's what you want, because if you are training, you're looking to get fitter, right? And you apply greater stress on the body through exercise, through training, and then the body adapts to that new level of stress. And this is called a training effect. And inflammation is a key part of that process. Inflammation is actually what you want. After a training, you get slightly inflamed, and this is actually desirable. You want that inflammation to be there as part of that adaptive process. If you reduce the inflammation, you will also reduce the training effect. This has been my opinion for a long time, but I've also recently watched a video of a guy called Jeff Messer. Really cool, the guy. I'll put a link to the video in the description down below, so be sure to check that out. And he kind of confirmed what I've thought to be true for a while, and that is that indeed you do not really want to reduce inflammation after regular training or anything like that. The inflammation is desirable for sure. And of course the same is true if you got an injury. Immediately when you get that injury, you start getting an inflammatory response, and this is part of the healing process. This is what you want. If you reduce that, you will also slow down the healing, of course. Why else would the body initiate this process? Why would the body initiate a process that hinders its own healing? That doesn't make any sense. The body always acts in its own best self-interest, as it is. So yes, there's no room really for inflammation in terms of healing faster, but as Jeff Messer says in the video, and which does make sense, there are times maybe where an athlete wants to compete at his or her potential performance-wise in a competition, while not necessarily being completely ready for it in terms of inflammation. Let's say you have a minor injury, or you're inflamed from a hard workout, or maybe you have several races in a short period of time and you have residual fatigue, residual inflammation from the last race going into the next one. You won't be able to perform at the highest level because you're slightly inflamed. Using ice bathing, for example, then to reduce the inflammation will probably enhance your performance at that event, but it won't be good in terms of your overall healing. I would look at it as a way to postpone the healing process in order to perform well at an event here and now. So it's a tool that you can use, I guess. But if you're interested in health and being healthy long term, I don't think it's a good idea to do this on a regular basis. You know, it's kind of like, you know, in ultra running, there are some people who take these anti-inflammatory drugs and painkillers and that sort of thing in order to go for longer. And this is dangerous, and this is definitely not healthy, because, you know, when your body has pain, when there's inflammation, the body is actually saying to you via the pain, stop doing it, stop, it's enough now, you know. And there are different levels obviously, but if you just take a painkiller so the pain goes away, you can keep going, but of course you're sort of bypassing the body's signals to stop, and this could eventually lead to severe injuries, and in the worst case it could lead to death. I mean, if you are really pushing, just suppressing those signals of the body in order to keep performing when you really shouldn't, that's not really a good idea. So yes, check out that video of Jeff Messer, really cool guy. If you are looking to perform at your highest level at an event while being slightly inflamed, you will probably enhance performance by reducing inflammation through ice bathing, but it will postpone the healing process. And in general, in everyday life and in training as well, you definitely want to embrace that inflammation process as part of the training effect and part of the natural process towards adaptation and healing. That's all for today. Go to our website at sweetnaturalliving.com. If you want health coaching, I can do that for you via Skype. We have different programs. All the information is on our website. We also have a free ebooklet on how to get started with the raw food diet. And of course, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We got tons of videos on topics like health, nutrition, fruit, fitness, that sort of thing. Hope you're having a good day, and I'll see you around.